I'm not gonna go through my intro again. I'm just gonna go into the questions. So, the first question is, what are the school funding sources for public schools? Does anyone know? No one knows how public schools are funded? Basically, how are public schools funded?
Taxes.
Taxes. Our taxpaying dollars. Correct. All right. So, what is the number one main source of our public schools? Source of funding. So, all right. Something to think about. We'll get back to it one day.
Maybe can we get that question another way? Where do we get most of our money?
Where do we get most of our taxpaying money from? What kind of services? What is something that your parents file every year?
Taxes.
Taxes. And out of those taxes, they usually get 2 checks back, right? What are they? The income tax, but one is federal and the other one is? Federal means across the nation, and there's the other one is what? State. So, we get a lot of our funding from state funding, which is Albany, which is money that we just right here, right? So, here is the question that I really want you to answer, because they actually mean the most to me, and the most significant. By raising hands, what do you see is the purpose for goals, the goals of the public schools, and what they serve? What do you feel is the goal of a public school? You are in a public school right now, correct? What do you feel is the goal for a public school?
To get a better graduation rate, like higher.
Now, that will actually be our goals. Those are the goals that we set for ourselves. What do you feel is the goal as a school as a whole?
What are they supposed to do for you?
Help
What is
graduate.
Give us a good learning environment.
Huh?
Give us a good learning environment.
A safe and healthy learning environment.
Free education.
Free education. Exactly. What else? Think about the comparison of a public institution like Douglas compared to a private institution like Aquinas. Not necessarily, everyone's always competing on the academic level, but think about the actual school funding. Do you have to pay for buses?
Mm-mm.
Do you have to pay for lunches?
No, some people do.
Some people do compared to their what?
How much they?
Income.
Yeah.
So it's affordable education as well, right? Compared to Aquinas, which is a private institution where you have to pay every year. You get it? And guess what? Some of them, they don't get free buses. That's part of their tuition. So now, my next question is, what are some factors that represent the greatest obstacle or obstacles for your success? So, to rephrase that question, what are some of the biggest challenges y'all feel like y'all face as a student that will help y'all not become successful? The subjects? What about the subjects? So do you feel like the core subjects are too difficult, or do you feel like they're, or how would I say it? There are a lot of emphasis on subjects that are insignificant. Okay. What else? Think about your peer interaction. Think about your interaction with your teachers. Think about interaction with other staff.
Hanging around with the wrong people sometimes.
Sometimes it's crowd interactions, and putting yourself in the wrong company. What else?
What about those mini computers that most people have, known as phones? Do you think that's an obstacle?
Yeah, with
Or
some people.
distraction? Or watch this. Think about this. Think about the fact that there's some schools where the whole school got a computer and everybody's able to do their work, and we got to fight over computer labs. You feel like technology is an obstacle?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, personally, this is a question that I'm throwing out there. Do you feel like if you have more resources of technology within the classroom, that you'll be more successful?
Yes.
No, why? I can agree with that.
That is true, because what if like one day software just crashes and everybody's gonna be like dumbfounded, like what are we gonna do without computers?
Nobody's gonna know what to do. Like,
That is true. You know what? I can see that, and I can agree with that. That is true. But here's the other reason why I'm on opposition as well. We are in a generation, and we are in a day and time where technology is overbearing, but at the same time, it's convenient. It sort things for us. It helps us out. We can get right to it. I don't use technology to the point where I can start an essay on my phone. I'm physically on my phone doing my essay for a class, and then just transfer it to my computer and just start going on my computer, leave my computer, get to work, and I'm working on my work computer. Google Chrome. If you don't know how to use Google Drive yet and Google Chrome, get familiar. But I also feel like it's a distraction to those who misuse it. There's people right now that know how to crack the code, and you can use Facebook while you're in school, even though we have a blocker on it. But can't do simple math. Someone asked me what time is it. I don't know how to read that clock. That clock, that's the same clock for the last 100 years. But I don't think we're putting more emphasis on what's important at the day and time, and also on what's beneficial to y'all. So I wanted y'all opinion. Now, here's the inverse. What are some things in this building, or some people, or some sort of whatever the case may be? It can be the smallest thing. What are some things that are contributing factors to your success? What actually helped you? Teachers. How so? Motivating. What else? What is it?
Some sit down and time to record you.
They teach you what you need to know to graduate. Like, without teachers, you really can't do it by yourself.
Okay, so you have a lot of support from teachers and staff. What about your peers? Is there ever ways that your peers help you?
Yeah, if you got good friends, they can like keep you on track, like go to class, or you need any extra help, just gotcha.
Is there anything outside of physical beings that are contributing factors to your success? Like outside of like people, humans, what are other things that contribute to your success in the school? Huh? Parents, parent involvement. Who honestly feels like their parent is really involved in their education? Semi. Who feel like their parent doesn't care? Okay, that's a good thing. I was about to be really concerned. Who feel like there's a lack of communication between the parental unit, when I say parental unit, I mean whether it's your grandparent that's taking care of you, your mother, your aunt, your uncle, whoever is your guardian, and the school? So y'all feel like they have great connection? Now, here's the question I want you to reflect on before I leave, and it's the last question. How do you encourage yourself or make yourself a contributing factor to your success?
Try to tell yourself that you're gonna be successful, you're gonna graduate, you're gonna work and try your best.
Okay, tell me one goal that you set for yourself. Graduate and go to college. Now, how you plan on doing that? Aside from just coming to school and doing your work, are there some other things that you put in play? Okay, you want to go to cosmetology school? That's called investing in yourself. What else? Now, my last little bit of advice. Take time, like she just said, to invest in yourself. Take at least 30 minutes a day to do something you like, you love, or something that you want to see yourself doing in the future. For those of you that know me well, know that I cut hair outside of work. I take 30 minutes a day to at least watch other videos on clippers that are coming out, new techniques, different designs, different ways of cutting, patterns, and then on top of that, I also take 30 minutes a day to just focus on every subject. So that doesn't even include my study time. I study for 3 hours. I'm in the library when I leave work. I go to the library after class. I go to class, and after class I go to the library, and I take at least 2 to 3 hours to study every night. But I'm talking about I take 30 minutes to just understand a specific subject. So if I'm coming to school and we're talking about trigonometry, then guess what? I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna focus on trade. That's it. If we focus on one specific part of trade, or let's say we doing geometry and we doing rotations, I'm gonna just focus on rotation. That's where you can use your resources. That's when I use YouTube. I'll use, I'm good for YouTube. I'm good for doing TED Talks. There's a lot of blogs that talk about certain educational aspects. And I want to make sure that y'all use the most of your resources, okay? So, thank you for doing part of my survey. I'm going to turn in and get my A, and I'll talk to y'all later.